When we're talking about tax havens and zero tax jurisdictions, obviously the first thing that comes to mind are islands, namely Caribbean islands. Now, this is not far from the truth because most of the tax favorable jurisdictions are in that region, not limited to there, but there are plenty of options in that area. One of which we will discuss today, and that is Bahamas. My name is Jelena, and here at Nomad Capitalist, we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs find the best solutions for their lifestyle, immigration, and finance needs, optimize their corporate structures, optimize their tax structures, and move to tax-friendly jurisdictions with their families. Now, when people decide to leave their home country, they usually need another tax residence, especially if they're becoming a tax non-resident in their home country, which is valid for basically all citizens of all countries in the world except the United States, because you're a U.S. tax resident for as long as you hold the citizenship. But for everybody else, if you're leaving your home country, you're becoming a tax non-resident, you will need another tax residence. Now, tax residence can usually be obtained in two ways. One is if you spend 183 days in any country, by the virtue of physical presence, you are a tax resident. However, if you're somebody who wants to live abroad, explore the world, not be tied to one place, but you still need a tax residence, then you're going to look into a handful of countries that actually would allow you to do that. One of them is Bahamas. Now, Bahamas has a great option and great program, which not only gives you a permanent residence, but it also gives you a tax residence. Now, the criteria for being a Bahamas tax resident is pretty straightforward. You would have to become a permanent resident of Bahamas, usually under their investment program. You would have to commit to kind of be deemed as domiciled in Bahamas. And that means spending at least 90 days per year in the Bahamas and not spending more than 183 days in any other country. So just by having a tax residence in Bahamas or anywhere else does not allow you to spend 183 days or more in any other country, because you will then trigger tax residence in that other country. If you fulfill these requirements, you will get a tax certificate from the government with your unique tax ID number, which you can use to open different bank accounts, companies, to apply for citizenships, and so on. One of the first requirements is to obtain a permanent residence in the Bahamas through the investment program. Now, the investment program, even when you go to their official website and when you talk to people there is no official minimum amount that you need to invest. However, anywhere from $750,000 to $1.5 million will get you in. Now, if you want to get it processed quicker, you would invest $1.5 million. If you're okay with taking the slower route, then the minimum would be $750,000 US. Now, in addition to that, once you submit the application, if you invest $1.5 million, the government obliges to get back to you in 21 business days. Now, once you make the application, you also must submit proof of purchase of real estate or the tax receipt for the real estate. Either or would work, in this case, for the government to issue you a permanent residence. Now, this residence permit is issued for life and does not need any renewing. However, you do need to keep the property for 10 years in order not to lose the permanent residence. After 10 years, you can sell the property and you will still hold the residence. If you go the regular route of investing $750,000 US, you will approximately wait 3 to 4 months in order to hear back from the Bahamas Immigration Services and whether you have been approved or not for the residence program. So once you get this residence permit, you will declare yourself that you consider yourself domiciled in the Bahamas and obliged to spend 90 days per year in the Bahamas, and then at that point get a tax certificate. Since Bahamas is a tax haven and under this regime you don't have any minimum tax to pay, you will basically pay zero, provided that you don't create any tax issues for yourself anywhere else in the world. By investing in this property and by spending 90 days in the Bahamas, you can get a permanent residence plus a tax residence without actually being tied to one place. And then you will have the option to open any bank accounts, anything else with your new tax ID. And in addition to that, travel around as you wish without spending more than 183 days in any other country. So some of the obviously benefits besides getting a 2-in-1 permanent residence plus tax residence is obviously the tax benefits. It's a minimum requirement for maintaining the residence and tax residence, getting a tax ID, and it is easy to adapt if you decide to spend some time there. It's easy to adapt. It's an English-speaking community. It's very close to the United States, Canada, Mexico, Miami, and so on. So it is a very well positioned country, geographically speaking, depending on what your needs are. But assuming that you are from, let's say, Canada or other nearby countries, this might be a very good solution for you. Now, other perks also include that you can bring your family members who are financially dependent on you, and they can get a permanent residence as well under the same application. The amount for the property does not change because of this. So it kind of can work for your immediate family as well. And in addition to that, this property does not have to be available to you at all times. So you can rent it out and earn some income from it while still retaining your tax-friendly tax ID and tax certificate and your permanent residence. The downside is that you have to keep the investment for 10 years if you want to make your permanent residence valid for a lifetime. And in addition to that, tax residence as well. Now, the good part is that you can get a Bahamas citizenship. However, it will take you 10 years to do so. And in those 10 years, you would have to actually spend 183 days every year in the country in order to qualify. So if citizenship is something you're looking for, probably another place to look for would be recommended by us. While this can be a great option for a permanent residence and a tax residence, which can allow you to basically optimize your taxes, and it will allow you to strategically position your assets and your income so that it's not taxed and that you have many options and you have freedom to choose where you're going to spend your time.